So I don't know if you saw this morning, but there is a fake Bitcoin pump going on right now. And I want to talk about what it means and why it's happening and how what you should take from this, because it is fake. I even got caught off guard for a second. And really what happened is that the Bitcoin price went from 27,160 or 27,123 all the way up to 29,900, right? And everyone's wondering what the hell happened. So what the hell happened here? Give me a second. What the hell happened here was that Cointelegraph decided to put a tweet out that said a BlackRock ETF has been approved. And then a BlackRock spot Bitcoin ETF has been approved. And then what happened was that everyone and their mothers decided to start retweeting this, and the price started driving up because it looked like for a second even that Reuters was confirming what they had tweeted out. Now, it was all just complete BS. And, you know, I hope whoever the guy is that decided to tweet this out at Cointelegraph, we need to know how much money you made, because we respect the hustle over here. We're capitalists over here, right? So however much money you made, I want to congratulate you. I hope you don't get caught. I hope they don't arrest you for trying to manipulate the market. But it was a fantastic move. Well done. I hope you secured some Bitcoin for yourself and your future and your family in pressing the send button on that tweet. It was just too convenient that it was the BlackRock ETF, etc., that decided to get quote unquote announced, right? But there's something more deeper here that you need to understand. So that news came out, the price started climbing from the low 27s to the high 29s, almost hitting 30,000 within the space of minutes. Within the space of minutes here, this happened. And so what I think is important to take from this is the fact that at the low price of the day, the market cap of Bitcoin was $571 billion. And at the high time of the day, the market cap of Bitcoin was $628 billion. So I'm looking at market caps at 27,182 and 29,900. So you're not going to tell me that there was $57 billion, which is the spread in the market cap, sitting to the sidelines waiting to rush in. This is the idea of the price is set at the margin, and when there is a supply squeeze and a demand squeeze, the price of Bitcoin is going to shoot up a lot more than just every dollar that's put into it. And this really proved it. I mean, how much money do you think really went into the markets today? It wasn't 57 billion. I think it was maybe at best $300 or $400 million that decided to move. Maybe $1 billion. Like, I can't even fathom saying $1 billion, but maybe I can get to imagining that it was $1 billion. In fact, I'm not even going. I think it was $400 million, right? And so in that scenario, what you see is that $400 million rushes into Bitcoin very, very quickly. And I don't even think it was 400 million. It was much less than that. But just demonstration purposes, if you take the 57 billion that the market cap went up by and divide it by the amount of money that we think went into the market, which I'm assuming is 400 million here. If anyone has any better data, please tell me. You're looking at 142 to 1 market cap multiple in a short squeeze, in a demand squeeze environment, which is higher than what Bank of America has been talking about and what I've been sharing with you guys as far as the bull market multiple goes. That happened today in front of your face. So you need to pay attention to how sensitive the market price of Bitcoin is to the incoming demand. Even if it was $1 billion rushed into Bitcoin in a 30-minute window, which I do not think that happened, you're still looking at a 57 to 1 market cap ratio, a bull market multiple market cap ratio. And we're in the bear market right now. So, you know, what you need to take away from this is that there is a large amount of hunger and demand for a Bitcoin ETF. Just based on the news pumping, just based on the fake news pumping that, imagine what would happen if it's actually real. Imagine what will happen when it is actually real. So that's what I want to highlight here. What this is a test, and to show you exactly what will happen once an ETF is approved. The demand for an ETF is higher than you can imagine. The spread, the discount window on GBTC closed immediately down to like 12% in this little pump scenario. So you need to understand how much hunger and liquidity there is for this market. And if $400 million or whatever can push the price of Bitcoin to, to up $57 billion in market cap in an instant, in a few minutes, as soon as this news came out, it wasn't even verified. Smart money wouldn't have even moved on this because it wasn't verified information. This was either dumb money or basically retail, or it was algorithmic trading going on. Can you imagine once the algorithms get their teeth on the fact that this is real? Like you've got GBTC converting, BlackRock converting, ARK converting, all these ETFs converting. Can you imagine what will happen to the market cap once it's real? You think that you're never going to wake up to a day where the price just runs away from you and you've got all this time to be part of the $10 a month DCA gang and the $1,000 net worthers moaning on Twitter about how much time you've got. You don't have any time left. This is happening right now. It was proven to you in front of your face that there is at least a 57-to-1 ratio on amount of capital going in. Because I don't think $1 billion went into the market today. I don't think that happened. I think there was a supply squeeze on the market, and then we saw the evidence of that. In fact, if I was a market maker, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a complete and utter setup, right? If this was a complete and utter setup just to test what would happen to the market if we had sudden shock in demand coming into the market, which is what's going to happen when an ETF is actually approved. So the bull market multiple scenario that I've been talking about, that everyone keeps refuting, oh, it's 3-to-1, oh, it's 4-to-1, morons. It was actually demonstrated to you in front of your face today in the markets, and I want you to pay attention to that. So while this pump was a fake, the next one won't be. This pump right here was absolutely fake, just based on a fat fingering of a tweet that went out at Cointelegraph, which they subsequently deleted and apologized for. But what it proves here is how hungry the market is for a Bitcoin ETF. What it proves here is the bull market multiple that I've been talking about. And there's still going to be people saying that this isn't true, that the bull market multiple can't be this much. Well, how much money do you really think $57 billion just moved into the market in 30 minutes? I don't think so. I don't think so. Show me some evidence. I don't think that it was that high, right? I'd be lucky if it was $1 billion, but I think it was closer to, the several hundred millions of dollars that moved into the market, probably even less than that. But then the multiples start getting ridiculous. But the truth is, you saw in a matter of 30 minutes, the price go from a market cap of 570 billion to a market cap of 628 billion, a $57 billion increase in market cap in the matter of 30 minutes. You don't think that's going to happen when an ETF is actually approved? Somewhere between, and I'm saying this right now, I think we get an ETF somewhere between today, the 16th of October, and January 18th, 2024. I lean on the 2023 side, because I think it just makes more sense, and based on what's happened with the lawsuit with the SEC and GBTC, I think it's 2023. But somewhere between today and January 18th, 2024, you're going to get a spot Bitcoin ETF. And one day you're going to wake up and the fucking price is going to be further away from you than you can ever imagine, because it went up 10% in the space of 30 minutes. And everyone's sitting there going, what the hell is going on? Do you think at that point you're sitting there with your DCA capital in the bank that's trying to drip feed into the market? You think you're going to try and get into it and rush into it then? You've really got to plan what's going on here, because time is running out. Now, after this lawsuit and what happened on Friday, you're no longer only racing against scarcity. You're now racing against silence. because now the SEC is in a position where they have to approve this thing. So you've now got all the sharks that were circling are now starting to feed. Because if I was one of those sharks, I'm waiting for this SEC situation, and then I'm going to start acquiring slowly. I'm going to start acquiring. And I'm not saying that they haven't been acquiring up to now. I just don't see the incentive. Now the SEC has basically has accepted that they've lost. So now I would start acquiring if I was a big player. I would start acquiring slowly but surely for my own funds, for my own capital, all the insiders. Because remember, it's not just the funds that need to acquire. It is the banks themselves that they might want to hold it on their treasury. It is the CEOs and the directors of those banks that might want to hold it in their personal assets. Now is the time that they start buying. And so I'll just start acquiring slowly, feed on it slowly, and then suddenly one day, boom, an announcement saying Bitcoin ETF is actually approved, and then you've seen what's happened to the market in that short period of time with the algorithmic traders, the FOMO traders, the institutional buying, everything that happens. So, and the GBTC will be the play, will be the institutional play. The second that an ETF is actually approved, you'll see that discount start to shrink back to parity very, very quickly. And that's great for all GBTC investors. I've been buying GBTC since 2020 because I knew that it would get converted to an ETF at some point. It is just the institutional play to get this to work. This is just how it works. So, ultimately the point here that I wanted to say is that now you're not only in a race against scarcity, you're in a race against silence, because the second this thing drops, the price is going to rocket and run away from you faster than you can ever imagine, just like what you had a preview of today. Study the price action today, because that's exactly what's going to happen when an ETF is actually approved. Now, all I want to do is wish you good luck, because at this point you need to get to your 1 Bitcoin, and as I said in a previous video, it is before end of 2023, and I think it's urgent now for you to do that, because as soon as this ETF gets approved, the price is going to start running away, and you can kiss goodbye to your dreams of owning 1 Bitcoin, because at the end of the day, the price is going to run, as we've seen it right now. And the bull market multiple that I've been talking about is absolutely correct. And it's been proven to you in front of your face. It's your responsibility now whether you're going to go and look at it or not and understand it or not. You need to get to 1 Bitcoin, because this is not going to last. You are racing not only against scarcity, you're now racing against silence. And power moves in silence. And that's what's about to start happening now that the SEC has decided not to appeal. And despite anything of the fake pump that happened today, despite the fact that there's all this demand with the Bitcoin ETF, despite any of that, there are still only 3 rules to Bitcoin. Step number 1, you buy Bitcoin. Step number 2, shut the fuck up. And step number 3, you get fabulously wealthy.